Young Thug is scheduled to appear in court today in Georgia on related charges. The rapper, whose real name is Jeffrey Lamar Williams, was one of 28 people named in an indictment in that state.
The Young Thug YSL trial finally resumed after a long break. We just learned why a certain YSL member snitched on Young Thug, being the famous YSL snitch Lil Woody. As reports go on and read, Brian Steele says Lil Woody was told he would get 25 years in federal prison in a different case if he didn't cooperate against Young Thug, aka snitch. The state refuses to give anything to the defense concerning the federal agent that went after Lil Woody with this. Thug's lawyer Brian Steele wants to put her on the stand to show the jury that Lil Woody was told to lie about Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug.
Specifically is on the recording, KC, that he will get, that she spoke with the U.S. Attorney's Office, and he is facing, if he does not cooperate against Mr. Williams, he's facing 25 years at a minimum charges in federal court, and there's no parole. I do not have one document, not one note or memoranda provided in discovery concerning ATF agent Cunningham.
As in the original report of Lil Woody snitching, it would be revealed, truth teller YSL Woody popped out on the gram last year after cooperating with the police for 3 hours in solving over 50 crimes, telling on Young Thug, YFN Lucci, and others. Now this had Young Thug reacting in the courtroom the following day. As Lil Woody telling the feds about 50 crimes that Young Thug committed will be a main reason as to why he will face life in prison if he's found guilty. However, the massive part for Young Thug is, if Lil Woody was tricked into snitching onto Young Thug, if this is found to be true, all of the evidence provided by Lil Woody will no longer be usable against Young Thug, meaning he has a very high chance of release. Young Thug's team knows this, so this is now why YSL members are acting strange inside a court, as Young Thug's team needs this trial to be delayed again to figure out the Lil Woody situation, as a delay would also give Thug's lawyers time to create a bond hearing. As on the first day of the YSL RICO trial back inside of the courtroom, they were sent home early after several altercations rised inside and outside of the courtroom. However, this is where things get concerning, as new charges are now being added to Young Thug's list, as new evidence revealed that Young Thug and the YSL rap group were doing very weird rituals with goats. As a lawyer would explain,
but in this case, Hassan says he's unclear what specifically a goat could represent.
The theory behind animals is you're draining their energy, their power, and to use for mystical purposes, and obviously interviewing former members who were present who could explain the context and what if any ceremony was taking place. Then you have some illumination possibly on it.
He also said animal sacrifices may be illegal in some areas and not protected under religious freedoms.
As it just so happens where Young Thug lives, it is one of the only states where it is illegal to do these actions that YSL was doing with a goat. This means that more charges will be added against Young Thug, making the Lil Woody situation even more important for his team to focus on, as it is very clear that Young Thug is being targeted for everything humanly possible. That way there is zero chance of him ever being released on bond, as this was even said during his first court hearing.
He's the one directing traffic. He is the one they're all afraid of. He's the one that's King Slime. He is the most dangerous of the 28, Judge. And I implore you not to grant him a bond. He is dangerous. if he gets a burner, Judge, and the court may know this, a lot of the communications that Mr. Williams is on FaceTime, because it's not traceable, it's not trackable. Judge, I will also say that we have taken proffers from fellow from Mr. Williams. Some are on this indictment, some are not. They have stated uniformly that Mr. Williams is dangerous. They are afraid of him, that if they cross him, he will them and their family. And they were very clear about that.
Concerns that this court has is danger to persons and to intimidate other witnesses and obstruct the administration of justice. So and for those reasons in the aggregate, I'm going to deny bond at this time.
However, things get even worse. To understand this fully, we need to dive deeper into the YSL Polo situation. As we would learn this week, YSL Polo has been dropped from the YSL RICO case. As this is the exact same man that was acting like this when the YSL trial resumed last week before being sent home early.
I'll deal with that accordingly, but your client, I noticed, has been doing the same behavior, and I believe Judge Adams inquired into it as well. So I don't believe that he may be doing just for the purposes of just drawing attention to himself. But of course, sir, as you are well aware, I'm duty bound to consider whatever it is you want to tell me. But your client's nodded in affirmance. He just has some extra movements that the court entirety of this particular proceeding. So you haven't said anything up to this point in time, so I'm going to assume that that's something that you and he are working through.
As fans would investigate all of the YSL members that are currently sitting in jail. Allegedly, YSL Polo, the man acting very strange, was in the exact same cell block as a man named Khalif Adams, another YSL member that was caught trying to slip Young Thug something during a court hearing, which really makes you wonder, did Khalif Adams sell YSL Polo something very strange? As a report would go on and share, my colleague Mark just obtained surveillance video that shows the moment prosecutors accuse Young Thug and his co-defendant, Khalif Adams, of conducting a hand-to-hand deal in court. As it continues stating, prosecutors say the surveillance shows Adams walking over to where Young Thug is seated with his attorney, and then he drops narcotics in his hand. A deputy confronts Young Thug, and he turns the item over to authorities. When deputies searched Adams, they found him in possession of narcotics wrapped in plastic and food seasoning to conceal the odor. According to investigators, Adams was then taken to Grady Hospital after he had appeared to ingest other items of contraband in an effort to conceal the extent of his crimes within the courtroom. Then the prosecutors filed a motion asking the court to make a finding of fact that the court was delayed on January 18th because of the actions of defendant Williams and defendant Adams. To the final tweet stating, an attorney for Young Thug responded to the allegations that his client was involved in the deal, with this audio of one of Young Thug's lawyers reacting to the allegations of the video being released online.
The reality is Mr. Williams had nothing to do with what went on in the courtroom on yesterday. One of the co-defendants, on his way to the restroom, attempted to pass something to Mr. Williams, who immediately turned it over to the deputy.
He did not know it was allegedly Percocet?
Did not know. Well, we don't know what it is. Did not know what it was, turned it over to the deputy right away. The deputies took action. The individual who had the contraband, not Mr. Williams, was taken into the back.
However, this is where things get even weirder, as Young Thug's father would also do an interview this week stating the following about Gunna.
Courtney said, how do you feel about Gunna?
I love Gunna.
See, that's the thing. People don't understand the relationship. They got this thing saying that Gunna is a rat and he's done this and done that. But
No, but see, let me try to help the attorney clarify that a little simpler.
okay.
Gunna hasn't done anything whatsoever that can hurt us on this case. Period.
As before the YSL trial was paused for the last few months, you may remember Gunna snitching on allegedly Young Thug and other YSL members. However, it would just be revealed that Gunna, when he was snitching, it wasn't on Young Thug in the YSL RICO case, it was in a separate court case.
You agree or acknowledge that statements are true, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I became affiliated with YSL around 2016. Is that true as it pertains to you, Mr. Kitchens?
Yes, ma'am.
YSL is a music label and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped the vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocarbons and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you acknowledge the following statement? I recognize, accept, and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL to the detriment of my community. YSL again. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
As this would make many fans confused, a 6ix9ine even hopped on a Clubhouse call with Whack 100 explaining that Gunna in that video was snitching on Young Thug and that Young Thug is in a terrible situation because of Gunna's plea deal.
So me pleading guilty is only making it worse for my man. I'm saying I was there. Yes, I did it. I plead guilty. I am guilty. I am guilty. Anything you said in that courtroom is going to be used against your man, my man. That is open.
Then even a week later, he met up with DJ Akademiks to share more thoughts on Gunna's snitching.
He just implicated YSL being, so now he's home, right? All the people who's locked up, like Jeffrey, like Young Thug, now he can't go with that defense. He can't go with the defense of saying, I'm a record label.
As many rappers know that Young Thug's life is in a terrible spot due to Gunna. Even NBA YoungBoy knows it, as he shared,
"Don't call me asking me about what I think about the situation or do I think snitching. I honestly don't give not one. I ain't got nothing to do with that."
As while Gunna snitching may not have affected Young Thug's life, according to Thug's father, what we're learning right now is it's actually doing a lot more to other Atlanta area rappers, as what we're witnessing is a complete takeover of the rap industry with RICO charges by the Atlanta DA, Fannie Willis. She's been offering amazing proffer deals to make YSL members snitch on Atlanta area rappers, as Lil Baby's name has now been brought up in the YSL RICO case.
An in-depth investigation. Recent months, you've had 2 high-profile racketeering cases. There are going to be more.
Over the next 60 days, you'll see 2 more.
As Lil Baby would even react to this while at an airport.
How you doing, Lil Baby? Lil Baby. Lil Baby, how's Young Thug doing? I know all the circumstances. Just want to see how they holding up good? Sure. All right. Love what you're doing, man.